And then we're into comic books and books. We have some stuff this week. Everyone's second favorite web-slinging superhero is about to get, because it's not the one we've been talking about, it's a different one. Getting a new book this week. We also have our favorite, the infrastructure rather, of all of the comic books and how we get them, how they're distributed is going through a bit of a shakeup. And then Asgard's mightiest hero is restarting, it would seem. And that and a little bit more this week in comics and books. Hello nerds, welcome to the Clips channel. This is a clip, as if the channel name was not specific enough. This clip specifically comes from a show that I do over on the main channel called The Week in Nerddom. We are going to be talking about comic books and books very specifically in this clip. So news from the last week that has to do with everything comic books and books. Generally more on the comic book side because the books side of things is kind of a little bit more slow going when it comes to nerdy content, but we do still cover it. So that being said, I appreciate you joining me. Let's get into the news.
Subscribe. That is all.
All right, comic books and books. We do have follow-ups and corrections. Follow-up is really just one follow-up. It's the DC Go app. They're announcing new books. They're announcing quite a few new books, and then also renewing a couple of older books from the first round of test subjects, if you will. So new books that are associated going forward. There are 6 new titles, and I'm going to go over the title and the artist in order-ish. So we have Warriors and A Wee Wonder by Stephanie Williams, Jane Pica, and Emily Pearson. Aquaman, Yo-Ho, Hold On To Your Hook by Josh Trujillo, Nicky, Lelapi, Andrew Drilon, and Bradley Clayton. John Kent, This Internship Is My Kryptonite by Sam Camp, Damon Hampton, Seraji, and CM Cameron. Taste of Justice by Andrew Aydin, Dominike, Stanton, Aneke, and Nick Filardi. My Little Warlord by Nina G, maybe, Maiden Mirjam, I think, and Chi Go. And then finally, Magical Mysteries of Shazam by Steve Orlando and Giopota. Seems like a lot of really narrative-driven nonsense that we've all been trying to avoid, which is why them putting it into the digital side of things makes a little bit more sense, because the people who want such things don't actually read comics. So maybe if they put it in a digital format, they'll actually read it, I think is the hope. Judging by the synopses of these new stories, it just feels like, and John Kent, really? We're still going with gay Superboy? Really? I mean, okay, I guess, have fun, but nobody's gonna read this. Nobody's going to read, anyway. The books that are returning to the DC Go, if you are so inclined, we have Harley Quinn in Paradise and Nothing But Nightwing. All of these are like light-hearted, very easy reading kind of stuff, very just a comic strip-y, like Sunday morning comics, that kind of stuff. It seems like they're all fairly short, very chunky in their art style, so really easy to see on a small screen, and probably going to be hot garbage, not gonna lie. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm gonna... All right, nerds, our May sale is up. We do have our special shirt for May. I know it's only 2 weeks, but that's the way the last one went too, so that's the way this one's gonna go. Although the shirt was up a little bit longer than the sale was active. So, and I will put on screen what the code is to get your discount, because I haven't decided exactly what it is, but by the time this episode goes up, it will be active. But we do have our May shirt. It is Metal Nerd. I am a metal nerd, and so anyone else out there who joins me in that celebration, you now have a shirt that you can show the whole world your true metal nerd colors. So go check out. Actually, we're going to have 3 different metal nerd shirts. Only one of them is active right now, but throughout the course of this 2 weeks, I will have all 3 of them up. So go check out the store. Again, link in the description. You can go do that. I'm super pleased with the way these shirts are turning out. So go check them out, go buy one. That is our sponsor, I guess, for this. So now let's jump back into the news. That's all we have for follow-ups and corrections. Let's talk now about some regular ass news. We do have one big piece. Well, I take that back. We have 3 pieces of regular ass news. I'm just illiterate. First up, we have Spider-Gwen. So it's not bad enough that they're screwing up Spider-Man in the 616. That's, sure, that one of the biggest superheroes of all time, one of the most easily recognizable superheroes of all time. Let's just screw around with his backstory and his love life, and let's do the things that nobody cares about and nobody wants to read. They're doing that. But also, they have no idea what to do with Gwen Stacy from the alternate universe, the what-if scenario that she was born from. We now have a new Spider-Gwen book that is finding its way onto shelves as of August 20th. It is being written by Stephanie Phillips, art from Paolo Vianelli. This straight up proof that Marvel has no idea what to do. They have put her through 6 different quasi-iterations over the course of the last year or so. A couple years, I say. And none of them have stuck, so they're just reintroducing her into the 616. See what happens. Sure. Whatever. All right, moving on. Next up is the big piece about Diamond Distributors. So Diamond Distributors is getting broken up and purchased. They have been acquired by Universal Distribution LLC and Ad Populum. So there was a lot in here, and I had to really condense this. So I'm going to read. I apologize. I'm not going to make eye contact for a moment, but I have to read this because it still gets a little twirly in my head if I'm not reading the words. So here we go. All right, so Diamond Comic Distributors has been acquired by Universal Ad Populum, UAP, a newly formed entity under its existing parent company, Geppi Family Enterprises. The internal restructuring follows Diamond's loss of exclusive distribution deals with major publishers, indicating an adaptation to a less dominant market position. The move aims to improve service, invest in technology, and diversify into collectibles and gaming. However, the loss of exclusivity necessitates competition and may result in continued distribution complexities for retailers. While intended to strengthen Diamond, this restructuring reflects a changed direct market landscape where its long-term stability and service improvements remain uncertain, potentially impacting independent publishers reliant on its network and the overall flow of comics distribution. So this breaks down to Diamond lost a lot of money because they lost a lot of contracts. So they're restructuring, they're diversifying their options, but also that restructuring is going to make it harder on comic book shops to get the comics that they want to sell, and also smaller publishers, independent publishers who want to distribute to as many shops as possible. So it could work out in the end. It does not sound like it's going to, because it never works out for the little guy. So if anything major happens here, we'll be keeping tabs, but it's going to be it's going to be a long time before we see the effects of this, the actual effects of this on the industry. So it's huge. It's going to change the way we get our books, and there's nothing really we can do about it. So that's kind of where we're at. Let's move on to our other new book that was announced this week, and that is a new Thor. This is... I think it's just God of Thunder. Yeah, it's just Thor even. It's Thor. So there is a new book, art from Pasquale Ferry, and it is being written by Al Ewing. And it sounds like they're rebooting Thor. The little tease synopsis thing that they provide in the solicits says as follows: the Norse myths tell of gods who walked the earth, doing great deeds for the mortals who believed in them. But Asgard isn't real and never was. The gods never soared in our skies, never stood with our heroes, never fought for kindness or justice. It was just a story. Nobody's coming to help us. But somewhere in the city, a man is waking up. A man with a hammer. So intriguing, yes. necessary to reboot Thor? That feels really weird. It's current Marvel though, so your guess is as good as mine as to what the hell they're thinking. It's a new book. We'll give it a first issue thumb through at the comic shop and probably never pick it up again. That's kind of how these things go, right? So that is what we have for regular ass news. Let's talk about suggestions. Oh no, that's right. Suggestion for the week. Suggestion for the week is an oldie but a goodie, and honestly one that has kind of become more and more true in modern society as modern society continues to evolve. This just seems like an impending future. The name of the book is The Diamond Age, or A Young Lady's Illustrated Primer. The author is Neal Stephenson. It is a cyberpunk classic, or post-cyberpunk, I guess you could technically say. So picture this. We're stuck in a futuristic nanotech society, and basically nanotech is king. Society is fractured into wild, culturally distinct tribes called files. Think neo-Victorians living alongside hardcore Confucianists. And the key to everything is an interactive, AI-powered book designed to educate a young girl from a privileged background. But, plot twist, it falls into the hands of a poor, forgotten kid named Nell. What unfolds is the incredible journey of education, class struggle, crazy tech. I'm talking like matter compilers and AI out the wazoo. And how one little book can literally shape a person and potentially the world. It's dense, yes, but in awesome fashions that make you feel smarter for having read it, kind of like finally mastering a complex Mortal Kombat combo, like the biggest 55% combo you could think of. Plus, the world building in this book is just, it's perfect. It's so brilliant. And again, seems to be becoming more and more true the further we get down this AI rabbit hole. So that is your suggestion for the week. Legitimately one of the best science fiction books ever written, The Diamond Age, or A Young Lady's Illustrated Primer, as written by Neal Stephenson. Go check it out. Thank you very much, nerds, for tuning in. If you want to level up your nerdy, geeky, pop culture knowledge, then don't forget to subscribe and do all of the things. Go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy, for the larger portion. Again, you get all of the sections into one convenient video over on Generally Nerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. Thank you for checking out this clip. We will see you next time. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, probably here.